Do you truly feel free? Consider the rhythm of your day, the immediate reach for a screen, the instant deluge of information, the endless scroll for novelty, a constant stream of content, carefully curated to capture your attention. Before you've even fully surfaced into the day, your mind is already awash in external signals, seeking a hit of stimulation, a fleeting escape from the quiet hum of existence. This isn't a conscious choice often, but an ingrained habit, a response to a world designed to deliver pleasure on demand. We live in an age where every discomfort, every flicker of boredom or unease has an instant antidote. A quick video, a notification chime, the effortless delivery of goods to your doorstep. We are conditioned from early on to avoid the void. The natural human inclination to seek pleasure, an ancient evolutionary tool for survival, has been twisted into a mechanism of control. When the pursuit of feeling good becomes an all-consuming quest, we risk becoming prisoners of our own desires, trapped in a loop of fleeting gratifications. This vision, eerily familiar, was anticipated by thinkers like Aldous Huxley. While George Orwell imagined a future of overt oppression, Huxley painted a more insidious picture, a society where control is achieved not through force, but through pervasive amusement, a world where people willingly embrace their servitude, loving the very chains that bind them, because those chains are gilded with pleasure and distraction. Look around. Do you see a society saturated with entertainment, where discomfort is swiftly medicated with another dose of digital dopamine? Is this relentless chase for immediate happiness truly liberating, or is it a sophisticated form of entrapment? The ultimate form of control requires no visible chains, no harsh interrogations. It simply needs something that disarms and disorients, endless pleasure. When pleasure becomes the central pillar of existence, the concept of servitude becomes indistinguishable from freedom. This is the chilling reality that Huxley foresaw in Brave New World. A society where questions are silenced by an overwhelming tide of entertainment, where the profound search for meaning is replaced by the shallow consumption of fleeting novelties. Happiness is not a choice, but an imposed state, chemically engineered and culturally enforced. Any stirrings of discontent, any existential unease, are promptly subdued with a dose of soma, a perfect drug that keeps everyone placid and compliant. Is this fiction? Think about your own responses to unease. When boredom creeps in, or sadness, or even a moment of quiet introspection, what is your immediate instinct? Do you sit with the feeling, explore its roots, or do you instinctively reach for a distraction? Social media, streaming platforms, comfort food, shopping, games, the options are boundless. We exist in a constant state of immediate gratification, where any uncomfortable sensation can be drowned out with a tap on a screen. The void doesn't need to be faced. It just needs to be filled with another quick hit of pleasure. And the most unsettling aspect of this, it all feels like a choice. No one forces you to spend hours absorbed in your phone. No one explicitly demands you scroll through endless feeds. Yet, if it's a choice, why is it so incredibly difficult to disengage? The answer lies in the subtle but profound process of conditioning. When your brain consistently learns that immediate pleasure is the remedy for any discomfort, it hardwires that connection. Over time, your capacity for patience, for silence, for deep introspection diminishes. Your mind becomes accustomed to a perpetual flow of external stimuli, losing the ability to simply be with itself. Without realizing it, you become the willing participant in the very system Huxley described, a content servant, bound not by overt force, but by the irresistible allure of pleasure. But how does this conditioning unfold? Why is it so challenging to break free, even when you know you should focus on something more substantial? Your hand gravitates to your phone. Your mind craves that next notification, that fresh piece of content. This isn't random. It's a carefully orchestrated training. From the earliest stages of our lives, we are subtly programmed to sidestep discomfort. Our educational systems often prioritize rote memorization over critical inquiry. The modern workforce values constant output over reflective pauses. And the ubiquitous culture of entertainment delivers a never-ending stream of distractions, ensuring we rarely stop to question the larger narrative. The cumulative effect of this is a society where the real threat isn't a tyrannical government stifling free speech, but rather a pervasive system that subtly erodes our interest in seeking genuine freedom in the first place. Huxley understood this profoundly. The citizens of Brave New World were not brutally suppressed. They were taught to love their servitude. Through processes like hypnopedia, messages were whispered into their sleeping minds, shaping their beliefs without their conscious awareness. Phrases like, "everyone belongs to everyone," and "a gram is better than a dam" became ingrained truths, ensuring conformity and discouraging any profound questioning. They grew up believing that happiness was synonymous with compliance, with avoiding deep thought, with fleeing any shadow of suffering. Consider how this resonates with our contemporary reality. Our conditioning isn't hypnopedic, but it's just as potent. Social media algorithms, sophisticated corporate marketing, and the sheer deluge of digital stimuli constantly shape our behavior without our explicit awareness. Every notification triggers a release of dopamine, a reward for engagement. Every effortless short video trains us to expect information in bite-sized, easily digestible chunks, eroding our capacity for sustained focus and independent thought. And every like, every validation, every fleeting pleasure reinforces the notion that this path of least resistance is the correct one. The consequence? A generation increasingly unable to tolerate solitude, uncomfortable with their own thoughts, and unwilling to challenge the prevailing narratives because they've simply lost the habit of critical engagement. A dictatorship isn't necessary to control the masses when they themselves willingly shun any idea that demands mental effort. But this aversion to critical thought comes at a steep price. When we consistently evade discomfort, we inevitably become more fragile, more susceptible to manipulation, more vulnerable. Constant pleasure, paradoxically, weakens us. Manufactured happiness leaves us increasingly passive. How does this happen? How can the promise of a world without pain lead to such profound submission? Imagine a world devoid of suffering, no sadness, no frustration, no anxiety. On the surface, it sounds like paradise. But what becomes of an individual who never confronts hardship? What happens to a society perpetually shielded from discomfort? The answer is simple: it becomes weak. Huxley captured this trap with chilling precision. In his dystopian world, happiness was guaranteed by soma, a perfect drug with no apparent side effects, only immediate bliss. But this happiness was a facade. It meant no one knew how to cope with pain, with frustration, or even with their own consciousness. Any uncomfortable thought was dissolved by a chemical dose of comfort. Life became an endless progression of superficial pleasures, casual encounters, effortless entertainment, endless consumption. Anything that deviated from this pattern was deemed a threat. Our modern world, though lacking a literal soma, has its equivalents. Social media platforms offer instant validation. Dating apps mitigate the fear of rejection. And algorithms present us with exactly what we desire before we even consciously know we want it. Every facet of our digital existence is designed to minimize discomfort, to eliminate any friction, any need for effort. But this ceaseless evasion of pain exacts a heavy toll, our psychological fortitude. The uncomfortable truth is that pain serves a vital purpose. Suffering builds resilience, frustration fuels growth, and difficulty compels us to evolve. When every rough edge is smoothed, every challenge circumvented, we become progressively fragile. Small setbacks feel catastrophic. Minor disagreements become existential crises. And anything demanding patience or sustained effort is abandoned in favor of the immediate, the easy, the pleasurable. This makes us profoundly easier to control. A society of individuals who are psychologically robust, who embrace discomfort and learn from it, will never be truly docile. Such a society will not readily accept limitations on its freedom. But a society of emotionally dependent individuals who require constant external stimuli to avoid the gnawing emptiness, who flee from any hint of suffering, that society will be compliant. It will be malleable. It will be the ideal landscape for those who seek power without having to resort to overt force. This is the insidious trap. What appears to be freedom, the ability to escape all suffering, ultimately transforms into our very prison. Yet, there is a way out. To break free from this cycle, we must grasp the fundamental distinction between pleasure and purpose. While pleasure can enslave us, purpose holds the key to true liberation. What is your true quest in life? Is it happiness or meaning? Is it fleeting pleasure or enduring purpose? The answer might seem obvious, but have you truly contemplated it? Modern society has meticulously conditioned us to believe that happiness is the ultimate destination. Yet what it offers as happiness is often an endless succession of ephemeral pleasures, social media likes, impulsive purchases, casual relationships, binge-watching, highly processed foods that deliver a momentary spike of satisfaction before leaving us hollow. All of this offers temporary contentment, but never for long. And therein lies the core of the problem. Pleasure is inherently transient. It demands constant renewal, or the gnawing sense of emptiness returns. Now, reflect on the most profoundly significant moments of your life, those experiences that truly forged who you are. Were they moments of effortless pleasure, or were they periods of challenge, perseverance, and triumph? Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, observed in man's search for meaning that human beings cannot truly thrive without purpose. Even in the most unimaginable suffering, those who found a greater meaning in their lives were the ones who retained their sanity and ultimately survived. This reveals a profound paradox. The relentless pursuit of pleasure weakens us, while the steadfast pursuit of purpose strengthens us. Pleasure is easy, immediate, and addictive. Purpose, conversely, demands effort, discipline, and resilience. But unlike pleasure, purpose doesn't vanish once its immediate effect wears off. It builds something enduring within us. It provides an unwavering reason to persist. Modern society, however, does not actively encourage the pursuit of purpose. Purpose takes time to cultivate. It requires introspection, sustained effort, and, crucially, a willingness to endure discomfort. All of these run counter to the logic of immediate consumption. An individual who discovers genuine purpose in life has no need for constant distractions. They don't feel compelled to fill every waking moment with superficial entertainment. They are not easily swayed by hollow promises of instant gratification. And this is precisely why we are ceaselessly bombarded with stimuli that divert us from this profound search. A person driven by purpose is a formidable force against a system that thrives on emotional dependency. So, if you feel an inexplicable void in your life, perhaps the solution isn't to seek more pleasure, but less. Perhaps the path forward isn't to embrace more distractions, but to deliberately eliminate the excess. The critical question to ask yourself is, what truly ignites your spirit? What compels you to rise each morning? Are you subsisting on disposable pleasures, or are you building something that truly resonates, something of lasting significance? Now that you understand the insidious nature of this trap, how do you escape? How do you reclaim agency over your own mind in a world meticulously designed to keep you perpetually distracted, passively entertained, and emotionally reliant? First, acknowledge that this is not an easy battle. The very fabric of society is engineered to perpetuate this cycle, to keep you chasing quick pleasures, to feed the algorithms with your attention, to encourage endless consumption. But there is a way out, and it begins with a conscious decision to recognize the game being played. The initial strategy for breaking this cycle is the deliberate and strategic deprivation of pleasure. This doesn't imply an austere, joyless existence. It means consciously regulating your exposure to addictive stimuli. The issue isn't pleasure itself, but its weaponization as a means of control. When you intentionally abstain from certain pleasures, social media, highly processed foods, compulsive entertainment, for a period, something remarkable occurs. Your brain recalibrates. It begins to rediscover satisfaction in simpler, more fundamental experiences. The insatiable craving for artificial stimuli gradually loses its grip. The second crucial step is to meticulously rebuild your tolerance for discomfort. To regain true autonomy, you must relearn how to sit with boredom, to embrace frustration, to tolerate the absence of constant external input. This means cultivating moments of silence, disconnecting from the ceaseless flow of information, and simply being without the compulsion to fill every moment with distraction. Initially, this will feel profoundly challenging. Your brain, accustomed to its dopamine spikes, will protest. But if you persist, you will witness a powerful truth. Discomfort does not destroy you. In fact, it strengthens you. Third, cultivate radical critical thinking. Constantly question, why do I feel this incessant need for distraction? Who benefits from my addiction to instant pleasure? What possibilities lie dormant in my life if I were to break free from this cycle of superficial gratification? The more you probe, the more you will uncover how many of your habits and desires were not authentically chosen by you, but subtly programmed by the system. Only those who ask these penetrating questions can begin to rewrite their own narrative. The fourth, and perhaps most vital step, is to consciously replace pleasure with purpose. As we've explored, the pursuit of meaning is the true antidote to the subtle slavery of immediate gratification. Ask yourself, what genuinely matters to me? What do I aspire to build? How can I infuse my life with deeper significance? These are not easy questions, but they are the only ones that truly count. However, even as you begin to disentangle yourself from this pervasive cycle, the society around you will remain deeply immersed in it. And when you choose to change, something inevitable happens. People will perceive you differently. Some will admire your newfound clarity. Others will react with discomfort or even rejection. Because when you liberate yourself, you become a mirror, reflecting what others may not yet be ready to confront within themselves. They might attempt to draw you back, to convince you that there's no inherent flaw in the system, that life is simply meant to be enjoyed without burdensome thought. But by now, you know the truth. Pleasure without purpose is simply another form of confinement. So, the ultimate choice rests with you. You can continue along the path of least resistance, constantly seeking the next dose of dopamine, diligently ignoring the growing sense of emptiness within. Or, you can choose to seize back control of your own mind, to forge a profound purpose, and to become an individual who is not easily swayed or manipulated. What will you choose? Have you recognized this pervasive cycle in your own life? Have you observed how society deftly employs pleasure as a tool of subtle control? Share your reflections, for the act of questioning is the very first step towards authentic freedom. And if this perspective has resonated with you, if it has offered a new lens through which to view your world, then join us in this ongoing exploration. Here, we don't merely drift with the current, we question, we reflect, and we strive to unearth the deeper truths that often remain hidden in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If this resonated, please like this video and subscribe to stay updated. I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Until next time, take care and be present.